Level 1. Private Ibyong, you are 17 years old. You are standing in a frozen field at 5:30 in the morning. It is November. You are not holding a rifle. You are holding a shovel. Someone tells you to dig. You dig. This is not what you pictured. You pictured the parade, the green uniform, the perfect rows, the crowd cheering from the roadside. What you got is a construction site. Your unit has been deployed to help build a government facility 40 kilometers from your base. No one explains why soldiers are doing this work. No one has to explain. You harvest corn in September. You dig drainage channels in winter. In between, you drill and march, and every evening you sit in a cold room and recite passages about the supreme leader until you can say the words without thinking about them. That is the point. You eat last, if there is anything left. The senior soldiers eat first. The sergeants eat first. The officers eat somewhere you cannot see. Your mess tin is sometimes empty. You are a soldier in a nuclear-armed military, and some weeks, the only thing in your bowl is corn porridge. You do not complain. You count the days. Not to your discharge, just to the next meal. Your service term is 10 years. You are 17. Do the math. Level 2. Non-commissioned officer. You have a stripe now. One thin red line on your shoulder board. To everyone who outranks you, it means nothing. To the privates, it is everything. You understand this immediately, and you use it. You walk the barracks at 5 in the morning. You overturn a bunk whose corners are not right. You say nothing. You walk away. The private remakes it in under a minute. He was awake before you arrived. He knew you were coming. Good. You were that private 3 years ago. You know exactly how this works. Your power is physical and immediate. You run drills. You distribute rations, and the ladle you hold is the most direct authority you have ever exercised. A soldier who respects you gets a full portion. A soldier who causes problems gets the watery bottom of the pot. No regulation covers this. No regulation needs to. You also lead the evening political study sessions for the new arrivals. You recite the doctrine with the confidence that comes not from belief, but from years of performance. You show them how it is done. You show nothing else. Here's the catch. If a soldier in your unit is caught with a foreign video on a hidden phone, the investigation does not start with him. It starts with you. You are responsible for everything that happens inside this barracks. You control almost none of it. Level 3. Lieutenant. You went to the academy. Your family's loyalty score was high enough to get you through the door. You know this. You carry it carefully. The day you receive your commission, they give you a pistol. This is the object that separates your world from every other. Non-commissioned officers carry rifles. You carry authority on your hip in a leather holster. You take command of a platoon of 40 men, most of whom have been in this army longer than you. They know this. You keep your voice steady. Your job is tactical command. It is also political management. You submit monthly ideological assessments on every soldier under you to the political instructor embedded in your company. You attend your own political education classes on top of running the ones for your men. You write commentary on Supreme Leader doctrine. Your commentary is evaluated. You facilitate the unit's self-criticism sessions, where soldiers publicly confess their ideological shortcomings. You decide what gets reported upward. That decision is itself being observed. The political instructor in your company is technically your subordinate in the military chain. In the political chain, he answers somewhere else entirely. He can end your career with a single report. You manage this tension every single day. The portrait on your office wall is perfectly straight. You straightened it this morning, not because it was crooked. Level 4. Captain, Day Y, you have 2 phones now. One is for military command. One is for the party. You never mix them up. You command a company. 150 men roughly, though a third of them are deployed to a labor brigade this month harvesting rice for state quotas. You run the readiness drills with what remains and file the report as if the unit were at full strength. Your battalion commander accepts the report. He files his own upward in the same spirit. Everyone in this chain knows what the numbers mean and what they hide. The forms still get filed. You are also responsible for feeding your men, which the official ration allocation does not fully accomplish. You negotiate. You look the other way when your sergeants acquire food through channels you cannot ask about directly. If morale collapses, that is your problem. If you feed your men the wrong way, that is also your problem, and the second problem is worse. A soldier comes to you privately one evening. His family's starving. He wants to go home. You look at him for a long time. You tell him his duty is here. You file no report about this conversation. You spend the next week wondering whether he will. Level 5. Colonel Dai Ryong. You have a car now. A military sedan with a driver. Small by any external measure. In this country, it announces everything. You command a regiment, 2,000 soldiers, a full staff. The logistics alone consume most of your day. The political management consumes the rest. The party secretary embedded in your regiment is nominally your subordinate. You have learned over many years that nominally is doing a great deal of work in that sentence. You travel to Pyongyang several several times a year for core-level political sessions. You have learned to read these rooms the way you once read tactical maps. Who sits where? Whose name the general uses with warmth, and whose he uses without it. You record these observations silently and say nothing about any of it to anyone. You now have access to the special supply system, a parallel distribution network for senior officials. You get meat, your family eats. For the first time in your career, there is enough. Hold on to that feeling, because at colonel level, you are finally senior enough to be purged. A private who makes a political mistake loses years. A colonel who makes one loses everything. His family loses it too. The higher you climb, the more the machine has to take from you when it decides to take. Level 6, General. You appear on state television now. Your face is known across the country. That is both the reward and the new exposure. You stand on the reviewing platform at Kim Il-sung Square. Below you, tens of thousands of soldiers march in formations so precise they look mechanical from above. Your uniform carries more medals than you can easily account for. You have received medals for loyalty. You have received medals for campaigns that existed only on paper. You wear them all. 20 meters to your right, the Supreme Commander stands. You do not look at him directly. You wait to be acknowledged. When it comes, the acknowledgement is a nod. You receive it like it is the only thing in the world. Your command is a division, real strategic input, real proximity to decisions that shape this country's posture toward the world. You attend general officer self-criticism sessions, where men with 30 years of service publicly examine their ideological commitments. The stakes in that room are existential. You speak carefully. You have always spoken carefully, but now there is no margin at all. A general you know has been relieved of command. A man you had dinner with 6 months ago. You sent a brief note of congratulations to his replacement. You did not attempt to contact him. You sleep facing the door. Level 7, Chief of the General Staff. There's a phone on your desk that connects directly to the Supreme Commander's office. You have had it for 8 months. It has rung 4 times. Each time, you answered before the second ring. You run the Korean People's Army. Over 1 million soldiers. You set doctrine, deployment, readiness posture. You brief the Supreme Commander personally, regularly, on everything. You prepare each briefing with the understanding that a single wrong figure, a single moment of perceived hesitation, could be the last briefing you ever give. The men who held the seat before you were removed, demoted, or disappeared at a rate that makes tenure feel like the wrong word. You have survived longer than most. That fact alone makes you nervous. You're not nervous about the enemy across the border. You're nervous about the phone, specifically about it not ringing, and what that silence might eventually mean. The entire Korean People's Army sits below you in this chain. One man sits above you. You bow to one person on Earth. He determines, on a timeline only he understands, whether you are still useful or have become merely dangerous. The difference between those two things is not performance. It is his mood. You have no way to know his mood until you are already in the room. Level 8, Supreme Commander, Grand Marshal, Taewon-soo. Every morning in every barracks in this country, over 1 million soldiers say your name. They say it before breakfast, before they pick up the shovel, in cold rooms lit by single bulbs, in underground facilities, in submarines under the Yellow Sea. Your face is on the wall behind every desk in every unit from the Chinese border to the DMZ. Your grandfather's face is beside yours. You have his name, you have his country, you have his army, and you have finished what he started. You have the weapon. Generals stand when you enter. They applaud when you clap and stop when you stop. Men who have commanded divisions for decades become careful children in your presence. You allow this, you require it. An army that does not fear you will eventually calculate whether it still needs you. You rotate your generals constantly, so they cannot build the relationships that coalitions require. The second most powerful man in the country, the man who helped place you on the throne, you had him executed. Because proximity to power is not the same as loyalty, and you have always known the difference. You cannot walk to a park. You cannot visit a market. You move between residences on schedules that change without announcement. There are men in this country who do not know your face. That is a feature, not a flaw. You are the most powerful person in North Korea. You are also the one person in North Korea who absolutely cannot leave. The private with the empty mess tin is counting down to something. 10 years, 9, 8. He has a number. You have no number. There is no discharge. There is no retirement. There's no version of this life that ends with you setting it down. You built nothing. You inherited everything. And if you show weakness for a single day, the machine beneath you will remember that underneath all of this, you are still just a man. The door to this room has no handle on the inside. It never did. You just could not see that from level 1.